What is up, YouTube? Jordan Conway here with a new video of a new truck. Yeah, I just recently bought this thing and done a few hundred miles on it, and I love it quite a bit so far over the old X5. Those who know me have seen that. It's a little rough condition, but you know, I got a pretty good deal for it. 23K with 193,000 miles, and drives great. You know, last owner took great care of it. They put 4 brand new tires on it. I'm excited to own this thing and see where it takes me. The truck is a Denali 2500. 6.6, for those who don't know, Duramax, and I think it looks great. You know, got a few things needs touched up or whatnot, fixed, but I couldn't find a better truck for the price, to be honest. And I'm pretty glad that I got a Denali, not going to lie. Kind of been searching for one for a while, and a few of them have kind of fell short, or you know, people sold them before I could look at them, or you know, said they'd hold them and they don't hold them. But the truck is from Nebraska. You know, I'm not really sure if they use salt or not up there, but I can say underneath that it is pretty rust free. And Kansas does use salt here, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll be trying to take care of it as much as I can, and you know, wash it when it's not below freezing. Show you guys the interior. You know, 193,000 miles, 2017. A lot of trucks kind of see this. A little tear there, but not too bad. Center console doesn't have a hole in it, which is nice. They put it in these little trees, vanilla aroma, so the truck smells somewhat kind of nice. It's kind of growing on me a little bit. It was strong at first, but I don't mind it now. Little man's car seat already in there. He loves being in the truck. I think it's because he can see out his window versus being in the M4 or the wife's M240. He can kind of only see half of it, and the things he can see have to be above the car, basically. So he loves being in the truck. Maybe I'll get him on video one of these days looking at stuff. Truck does have remote start, but since we're already in the truck, truck is stock for now. We'll eventually tune and delete it and see what happens from there. It also does have Apple CarPlay, which is kind of nice. I wish it was wireless, but you know, even just being wired, I think this is the first generation GMC's had CarPlay, or Apple CarPlay, so you know, didn't want to give that feature up going with an older LML or you know, anything like that. If you notice that, you know, the audio quality has changed, that is because it took the microphone that it had is the Insta360 Mic Air. I definitely want to compare the audio differences between having the microphone on and off. I guess I should have done an off while I was outside, but it wasn't too windy or anything. I had noise reduction on. Not sure if you'll be able to hear the difference or not, but yeah. So let me know what you think of the audio. This truck pulls really nice. There's a few that I test drove, and you know, they had around the same miles, and I felt like when you got on the throttle that there was just nothing to them. You know, I think one might have been in a lit mode due to like a NOx sensor or something like that, or NOx sensor, however you guys pronounce that. I don't know. Kind of new to the whole diesels. You know, the X5 was a diesel beforehand, but you know, I did my research, and you know, the L5P is supposed to be the most kind of reliable out of diesels out there, especially for GMC. So is why I chose to find trucks that started in year 2017 or 2019. My budget was only $30K really, so my budget was really only $30K, and yeah, so it kind of limited me. I didn't really want to get into the newer trucks. I knew 2020s have like wiring issues, and I didn't want to deal with weird electrical components or anything like that. I know every vehicle can have them, but it seems like the 2020s are kind of prone to them, the newer body style. So I just kept my search for Duramaxes in the 2017 to 2019 range. Being in Kansas, it does get cold. It was literally, I think the felt like temperature was -2 yesterday. So I definitely wanted to find a truck that had heated steering wheel and heated seats and cooled seats for the summertime, because it does get up into 100 degrees out here for those who've never been. I will say another reason that I wanted to get a diesel truck is, me and the wife do race. Our separate cars. I race the M4, she races the M240. I know she's not as serious as I am, and I like to do the women and wheels classes because it's kind of easier, not as much pressure. And that's just where she's starting out with, and I'm glad that she, wants to race with me, come to these events and actually race and compete. Because it's just fun when the whole family's doing it together. Like when we did the Booster Barbecue by Justin Keith earlier this year. We all raced, and I ran in the 10-0 class. She did the women and wheels, and they had a little Power Wheels race as well. And Aston was driving his little M4. That was his first time, going up against other kids or whatnot. I had the remote, so I didn't know if he'd actually go or not. And yeah, so I was kind of driving it for him, and I was trying to hide the remote a little bit, so like I put it behind my back, but I think that kind of interfered with the range of controller a little bit, because I think he was trying to steer it, and he would go one way, and then he would correct himself, so it was like pointing at the other side. So I'd like try to correct, and then the remote was kind of like out of range, or couldn't see the car just because the sensors it has or whatever. I think it's like an IR sensor or something. So then it would like freak out. But I'd say, for all three of us racing, it was a really fun time, and that was the first time we stayed in the trailer instead of getting a hotel. And we brought the dogs along, and that was the first time bringing the dogs to the track. And it was kind of some growing pains, but doing the first time at a track, we had a great time. I wish we vlogged that, but I think for this year, I definitely want to try vlogging more now that I have new camera, mics, and whatnot. The wife has the same camera as well, and then I have the X5, and she's got my old GoPro Max. So, I think we would like to try to vlog a little more this season. I don't know, maybe I would like to do some YouTube videos for next year, and see if I can do maybe once a week or once every other week, and just see where that goes from there. I know a lot of other guys are around me locally who kind of started their YouTube channels as well, so I've thought about it, and I'm just never fully committed. So this will be my first year of like trying to fully commit to that and going from there. All right, so I put the mic air back on. I believe it's in noise reduction mode right now. I have no idea, to be honest. I read the manual once and then discarded it. Didn't bring it with me. Don't know if that's a good idea or bad idea, but we'll go, we'll see if this works or not. We'll say, going back to the story on, getting the truck and why I got it. The plan is to eventually, yes, it'll tow my trailer now just fine, but the plan is to eventually get a 2-car trailer that can hold both me and the wife's car, and we can all go to the racetrack in just the one truck instead of trailing one car and then she drives as well. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if we're gonna both be driving, like, why not just drive both cars up? And like, well, why not just drive both cars up anyways? Well, you're racing, things can happen, things can break, crash, other people crash into you. So just having the trailer there is just kind of like a peace of mind, in case something happens, like, not scrambling to figure out a trailer or a ride home. Like, it's like, okay, this happens, it sucks, but at least, we're prepared and can just throw the cars on the trailer and just go home. And that's kind of my reasoning of getting a diesel truck, somewhat newer, is just to be able to handle that weight of the two cars in the trailer just fine. Not sure if I'm going to do like a pull behind or like a fifth wheel style trailer yet. I don't know. I need about 34, 36 realistically in just like the open bay space just to fit both cars. I think the M4 is right at like 16 feet. It's a little less, but round up 16 feet, and then the wife's car is at 15 feet. So put those together, that's 31 feet. But obviously, you don't want to have like a 32-foot trailer and have absolutely no room. Like, you still want room in between the cars. So 34 would work. Leave a couple feet on front, back, and in between. But at 36 feet, that would leave a good enough amount of room, I think, for both cars, and just a little bit of clearance space in between front and behind. And that's just my thoughts for getting eventually a two-car trailer. I will say today we're driving up to Olathe, up to stepdad's warehouse for BG Products. We're going to do a transmission flush, new filter. We're going to do oil change. I think the oil was done about 3,000 miles or so ago. The maintenance on the truck is really kept up. Like, really proud of it. It's kind of why I got this one as well, is the maintenance kept up. Remaining oil life, it says 59%, so really not too shabby. I guess near that halfway mark to do an oil change. So I'm not sure if I will be filming the oil change and transmission flush or whatnot. I'm not sure how the stepdad Sean's going to feel about that, but very supportive and thankful that he's allowing me to come up and do this service up there at the warehouse. Yeah. If not, if we don't get anything on film for that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next film. See you.